What is up, everyone? It's Kanan,
It's Jessie.
and we're the Geeky Sane couple back with a new RWBY video for seems like forever ago. If you guys watched my Friday the 13th video, she's alive. I found her. She got scared and left me in the middle of the woods all by my lonesome.
That was your idea.
And anyway, yeah, go watch that ranking video. I actually enjoyed what we did there. So, going along with the time of the year, we decided to push off our next RWBY What If video until after October is over with. Pretty much everything's getting pushed to November because of October and because me and Jess both love Halloween so much. So this is going with, the whole month being mostly creepy videos. We did do a video about Sora being in Smash, and I also did a video about Final Fantasy 14. But this is going to be this is pretty much going to be talking about the closest that RWBY ever got to being a horror show, and that was back during Volume 6 with the Apathy. This was originally going to be about the Apathy, the Knucklevy, and the Hound, but we kind of already did the Hound in our fairy tale theory series. And the Knucklevy, we just couldn't. The Knucklevy is that kind of Grimm that it was pretty much the monster. Like, it was pretty much based on the story of a monster killing the hero's family and destroying the village. And then, years of repressing the event, the hero returns, remembers all that happened, and takes out the monster. Even though the Knucklevy was very creepy looking, I just think that, and the Hound was also very creepy, that episode of it stalking the halls of the Schnee Manor and all that. Yes, that was very creepy and very, very thriller-like. Not the music video or anything, but, the genre. The Apathy arc, as many call it, or the Brunswick Farms arc, is pretty much the fandom's core example of RWBY becoming a horror movie in a lot of ways. And the whole Apathy really covered not just horror movies, but your stereotypical ghost stories in a way, And the farm itself, I remember when we first saw it, which, we didn't have the channel back during Volume 6, but I remember when we first saw it, I saw the main house. I know I said something like, that house is haunted. Because it looked like a haunted house. It really does. It's your standard haunted house out in the middle of nowhere. And just the whole theme of Alone in the Woods was RWBY goes through, a Nights of Horror like thing. Whether it be the isolation of the farmhouse, their Team RWBY, Oscar, Maria, and Crow are staying there because they're snowbound in a way. So it's kind of like, it's not the best ideal shelter, but it's all we've got. And, Crow is going through his whole spiel about just finding out that Osmond lied about or kept a lot of things from him. Maria is kind of like, get over it. We need to focus on here and now. Oscar at that time is still kind of
Dealing with the fact that there's another voice that's not him in his head.
Well, that, but also this was kind of the point where they really weren't doing much with Oscar on screen, so there's not really much you can say about him. You've got RWBY trying to keep everyone together. You got Weiss, who's still struggling with having to go back to Atlas, and then you got Blake and Yang having their whole thing, their lovers quarrel. Negative emotion. That is what is a lot is going on with that. And a theory in the paranormal field is that spirits, ghosts, feed off, or, well, not really ghosts, but, evil spirits like demons and hauntings that are not so nice, feed on negative emotion or negative energy. So it's never stated, but that could have been something that helped the apathy, or that the apathy was taking those negative emotions and amplifying them, because we know that the apathy drains the will to live. And when they arrive on the farm, then they go inside the house, and it's already a tense atmosphere. You're moving me here. And the music that RWBY used, the lighting, we see that this farm was at least ran by a few families. And
there's a few houses that are like you could really see, but they're there.
Plus the picture that we saw, because everybody was looking at it and trying to pull stuff from it, because there's a character that looks kind of like Roman in it, and one little girl that a lot of people thought might have been Neo, that Roman and Neo had some kind of connection to this place. And then of course time comes, let's split up, let's look for blankets, let's look for a way to warm up. And usually in horror films and horror themes like this, it's never a good idea to split up, whether you're by yourself or even with somebody. It's never good, because next thing you know, you've got a machete in the face. And, well, you do, or something eats you, or, it's either gonna upchuck you, or you're gonna come out the back way.
Anyways.
I've watched a lot of horror movies, and some good, some bad, that's happened in. But so it's Yang and Weiss who go looking, and I remember, everybody made a big deal. Oh, Blake and RWBY are interacting just because Blake asked her, what do you think went on here? You get a scream, classic horror timing. They run up, and they find dead bodies. So normally, if you're in a normal situation,
you run.
You leave right then and there, because you're out in the middle of nowhere. There's no real way to call any kind of authorities in their case. Now, normally, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and if you got cell reception, you can at least call somebody. But 9 times out of 10, you don't have cell reception. The thing that always I wondered, because it shows them afterwards, and Weiss is, not surprisingly traumatized by what she saw. We see Crow come from the other houses, because, he's wiping snow off of him. The first thing I really thought of was, are they really going to stay in a house with dead bodies in it? To me, because that's very creepy to even think of, because, being in the psychology field and all that, I've studied a lot of serial killers and all that. These stories of these killers who killed like their own family and stayed in the house with the bodies. Chris Benoit did that, and it is a very creepy, uncomfortable feeling. So it's kind of funny how it's never mentioned. Like, could Crow have also buried the bodies? I don't know, because all he stated was it's the same in every house. Meaning he went and looked in all the other houses and found dead bodies. It's never implied that he buried them, so it's also like, sleeping in, planning to sleep in a house, in an abandoned farm, with the bodies still in the house.
Well, I think there's a contribution to why they were able to actually stay and sleep in that house, which...
Well, yeah, it's either that or go outside and freeze to death.
No. Think about it. The apathy. Because you could tell when they were all still awake and concentrated into one room, everyone was on edge. They didn't want to be there. But they were also starting to drain and feel tired.
Because...
So it would... Them being drained because of this thing that they don't know is there yet... would have caused them to, okay, well, I'm tired, I'm just going to fall asleep anyways, regardless if there's dead bodies up there.
Well, yeah, because it's pretty much insinuated the reason why that maybe the reason why Yang reacted so badly to Blake's, I'll protect you, which, of course, I think Yang would have had a problem with that anyway, but many have theorized, or maybe it's pretty much implied, that the reason why she did react so badly was because of the apathy.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't have been as bad, but
She still would have had a problem with it, but it wouldn't have been like, she wouldn't have jerked away from her or anything like that. Plus, Yang at that time had already said she was tired, and that became a running thing throughout the episode.
And yeah, towards once they left, now we know why, which makes sense of why they were able to end up staying in that house regardless, because they could have just fixed up that
wagon
or
trailer.
The trailer that night and took off, but they all were tired and just stayed. So.
And like with Weiss and RWBY, of course, Weiss and RWBY's relationship is not strained during Volume 6, but Weiss is still like, I just escaped from Atlas. I really don't want to go back. I don't want to risk getting found out by my father and being forced back into the manor and pretty much being locked up like he was going to do her. So, of course, it's causing her to question what, why they're doing this. Salem can't be killed. Do we really have to go to Atlas? And she also mentions that she's tired. So you've got Yang saying she's tired and her pretty much snapping at Blake. And then you have RWBY and Weiss saying she's tired and she's like doubting them even continuing. So you've got two kind of themes here. Of course, they sleep through the night. And once again, it's very eerie.
They oversleep, too.
Yeah, they oversleep. And plus, RWBY wakes up, very... I don't want to say cliche, but it's something that happens in spooky stories. You wake up and
you startle yourself awake.
Yeah, I forgot what happened that led to her doing it because they did it very horror movie like. Something happened, I remember, and she woke up. Of course, they tried to light the tension before all that with like the beans, and Weiss not wanting to eat canned food,
You put enough salt on anything.
Yeah. So, and then of course you got Maria reading the journals this whole entire time. I'm surprised she read that much because I think she was like on volume.
She was in the last volume.
Yeah, she read that whole entire thing, which is a good thing she did. But she loves her reading almost as maybe more than Blake.
The however many volumes there were, some of the pages may have been shorter because if just based on the life that you could tell that they had there, it was quite simple. But towards the end, obviously they were just getting more drained.
Well, yeah.
So each entry, so she would have gotten through a journal a bit easier than a book.
Yeah. So the next day, everyone is even more tired, even though they've had what we assume is a full night's rest, to the point where they don't even want to make breakfast. They're, then again, when I get up real early in the morning, I don't even want to eat breakfast because I'm not a morning person. Love breakfast food, but just not a morning person.
Why at cons, it's usually Pop-Tarts.
Yep.
Big old Pop-Tarts.
But, because Blake's like, we're all so tired, shouldn't we have breakfast first? And Oscar's like, you want to make it? She's like, no, not really. And of course, Crow's bad luck kicks in. Tyler, who the hell is Tyler? the tire on the trailer goes flat, and then Maria rubs salt in the wound. Oh, you people are just beacons for bad luck, aren't you? And,
then Crow just...
He goes and sits down and has a drink. And RWBY's like, it's just a flat. I'm sure there's a spare. And, this leads to, Weiss, Blake, and Yang, with their dead cold stares, trying to talk RWBY into just giving up. And it was very Shining-like when they all three lined up. It was like, come play with us, Danny, forever and ever. It's like, come play with us, RWBY. And it does kind of start to weigh on her. She says how tired she is. She's holding the lamp, almost considering, letting it fall into the well. But she comes to her senses, and then what do we get? we get a jump scare. She sees the eyes of the apathy in the well. It scares her. She drops the lamp into the well, and she's
like, kind of shakes her out of that tiredness that she was feeling. So
yeah, and Yang's like, Ruby, it's fine. She's like, no, I didn't mean to, and all that. And Ruby, like, Volume 6 was very good for Ruby because it was her putting her foot down in a lot of situations, showing growth and becoming more of a stronger leader. And, she's like, I'm not leaving without the lamp, final. And, of course, the girls are like, oh, fine, let's all go. And Crow is just agitated. Fine, Oscar, go look for the spare. I'm going to go inside and drink. That's pretty much what happens.
Which, that it works both ways. The, being tired, playing off of all the doubt and all that, and then you've got him where this thing is affecting him. Yeah, he's tired, which is just making him more agitated and more frustrated, and he's just
it also
snappy.
It's once again like a little callback to dangerous spirits feeding off negativity. And so, of course, Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang all go down into the well. They've got their phones and they're using their lights on it like everyone does now. It's like, what's a flashlight? I've got my phone. And
it's the most useful thing, though, is having a flashlight on you at all times.
Yeah. And it's a weird interaction a little bit because Weiss, Blake, and Yang are so over at this point. Blake sounds kind of annoyed when she says, turn off your light and just look for the glow, Plus, it's been confirmed that Blake can see in the dark, so she probably, if she had been alert, she probably could have helped find it faster. Then, of course, Ruby sees the glow. She runs over, and there is the apathy. And right when it happens, we see Maria turning the page, showing the apathy. There's this really creepy music that happened. It's really great horror timing. And we see it. Ruby screams, very horror movie-like, and that is what brings Yang, Blake, and Weiss out of their, trance, what have you. They come to her, she fires on it. They just bounce right off. So it's like, I wish we could have seen a little bit more how strong, because they don't look physically strong, but apparently, bullets didn't do much. So it's kind of like, what really would it have taken to take one of these things down if Ruby didn't have silver eyes?
If it may have been just like a couple of them, they probably could have ended up managing it.
Well, yeah, because it was a large...
It was the entire
pack
pretty much. Which we don't know just how many, because we don't know how far those tunnels go. I mean, Maria goes over, isolating one from the pack, but there wasn't a hole. So we don't... There could be thousands that were incinerated.
Yeah, so... Maria jumps down and says, run, and you pretty much have a very classic horror, not montage, but horror section where you're running through the tunnels in fear. Like, if you look at their faces, their pupils are small, their eyes are wide, they're all freaking out. Then, of course, it's like the apathy just scream, and it sends out like a pulse that saps your energy, and it happens a couple of times, but of course
it kind of gives you that like the sense that I got is the ringing in the ears, where everything becomes like, I can't think of the word, like
everything's in slow motion.
And
it's
kind
like
of muted.
Well, it's like in war when a bomb goes off in war movies, and
how everything gets muffled and muted.
Yeah.
That's the sense that you kind of get from that, and it cripples you because you can't. It's trying to pull your energy and mask it to take it. So it's like.
Yeah. So
it's scary.
So, Maria, gives Ruby the pep talk. She uses her silver eyes. It doesn't fully eradicate them yet. But, no. She saves Blake first. Which I I was thinking ahead, wanting to get to the Blake part, the it's fine. Blake almost got it, but like the fact that she says it's fine and she's so drained of life and just doesn't care, doesn't want to fight back. It's creepy. It really is. It's like I wish I could think of the perfect movie where something like that has happened in, but it's been used before. Then of course Ruby, in a desperate attempt to save Blake, her eyes flash pretty much, which gets rid of some of them, not all of them.
But it gets Maria to really think,
yeah.
What color are your eyes?
Yeah. And yeah, they're trying to get back out and the apathy hit them again. And it almost seems like they're literally going to meet their end in this cellar in this creepy farm, which, happens to a lot of people in horror stories. But yeah, Maria gives her the pep talk. She uses her silver eyes, and she obliterates a large amount of them.
So they can get away. Yeah. And that's the kickstart to, Maria helping Ruby on how to unlock doing that. At least in that moment.
They escape the cellar. They come out of the house, the scene of Yang running out, screaming Oscar's name and saying, "We need to go now." Like, once again, it's very Amityville horror where they escape the house, leaving everything behind and getting away from the evil within the house.
And then you have Weiss
burning the house down.
Taking her anger out on alcohol
and
burning the house down.
And, them dragging Crow out, and he's so drunk, but also so affected by all that that he doesn't even realize what's going on at first.
No, and then once they get him, pretty much in the trailer and they start going, you can start to see the moments he's come out of that trance that everyone else was in before.
Yeah.
And learning the rest of it from Maria from the last volume of that journal, everything makes sense.
Yeah.
Even though Crow was still blaming himself, no, this farm was just cursed because of that thing.
And so, yeah, we have a very also classic horror ending in a way, the evil, the house with the evil in it being burned to the ground and them escaping. And then that's where you learn in the journal that the farm was having Grimm issues and they were running out of money to pay off huntsmen or huntresses to protect them. And so one of the farmers found the apathy and led one of them back to calm everybody down so if they had negative emotions, it wouldn't attract more Grimm. But sadly, the rest followed.
And they didn't repair the holes
yes.
that needed repaired, and the whole pack came back.
And the apathy pretty much drained everybody of life, and everyone died. So yeah, the little apathy arc is a horror story. It has everything in it that would make a good campfire scary story. The abandoned farm in the woods, the creepy tunnels in the cellar, the monster lurking underneath the house, the creepy music, the tension, the evil within the house affecting the people within. Finding dead bodies to show the macabre history of the place, the journals, just all of it would have made a great, like I said, scary story. It would have made a great creepypasta. It would have made, really, it would have made a good video game level, really, in a horror game. But yeah, I love it when RWBY goes the horror route because they do such a good job at it. Whether it be the Apathy, whether it be the Knuckle-V, whether it be the Hound, whether it be that little jump scare in Volume 7 in the mines with the Geist Grimm when Blake was by herself because she could see in the dark and it popped up. They do such a good job of it. I'm kind of hoping at some point in the island we do get like if we do get like a hallucination like thing, because if we can see visions or whatever on this island, I'm kind of hoping we get like a, I don't know, some kind of psychedelic like the tunnel scene in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I hated that scene.
It literally comes out of nowhere. It's like you're just not expecting it to go the way it does. I still say that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a descent into the mind of a madman who is literally on the cusp of going insane.
I mean,
but because every time I watch that movie and he's screaming "Good day" at the end, like you can look in his eyes, that man is insane. You should not live in his chocolate factory with him. You will end up dead, encased in a coffin of chocolate. So, yeah, don't go with the chocolate. Throw away your golden tickets. But yeah, that's really all we've got for it. Like I said, I really just wanted to go over the scariest episode in RWBY that was pretty much all by itself a great scary story. Like it's like if you could replace the Apathy with ghosts or evil spirits, it'd make a great ghost story. It really would. So yeah, there's more to come. More Blair Witch coming. We're going to do a new episode of Mysterious Darkness between now and Halloween. And on Halloween, I've got a little idea I'm thinking about doing. If I think of anything else to do, there may be an extra video or something one week. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little sit down. Hopefully it was creepy enough for you during this spoopy month of October as we get closer and closer to Halloween. If you enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button, click that like button, leave us a comment, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of all of our uploads. We try and upload at least every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But yeah, as always, guys, this is Kanan.
This is Jessie.
We love you all very, very much. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.